Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to speak about 7 common mistakes in English, especially from Spanish-speaking people. You will see that when I go on with these mistakes. Okay, so let's begin with the first mistake. Confusion, actually versus currently. So actually means in fact or really. So you use this when you want to make a contrast. We will see an example later. And currently means at this moment or nowadays. So the confusion happens because actually is similar to a word in Spanish, actualmente, but they don't mean the same. That is why we call them false friends, because they are similar in spelling, but they don't have anything to do with each other. Okay, so remember, actually means in fact or really. Currently, at this moment, nowadays. For example, actually, I'm not a doctor, I'm a teacher. So in fact, or really, I'm not a doctor, I'm a teacher. I'm currently working as a teacher. So I'm working as a teacher at this moment. Nowadays, you could also say, okay? So that is the confusion that you should not make between these two words. Okay, let's go on. Number 2, using the simple present tense when speaking of past events. So this mistake is very common, and it sounds very badly. It also happens among advanced students. You don't believe me, but advanced students usually make these mistakes. So let's see the error. When the party ends, I go to my house. That's a mistake because you're speaking about something in the past and you're using the simple present. So it doesn't make any sense. The right option is when the party ended, I went to my house. So remember, when you're speaking about the past, use past tenses, such as the simple past, the present perfect, the past perfect, etc. It depends on the context. But don't use the simple present because it doesn't sound good at all. Number 3, he has 20 years old instead of he is 20 years old. Again, this is a very common mistake, even among advanced students. Why? Because in Spanish we say él tiene 20 años, but in English he is 20 years old because, okay, listen to this question, state or action. It's not an action, it's not that I have 20 years, no. I am 20 years old, okay? Why? Because the verb to be in this case is a stative verb. Well, I'm not going to speak about stative verbs today, maybe in other video, but that's the idea. So never ever say he has 20 years old when speaking about the age. Number 4, forgetting the s or es in the third person singular. A very common mistake. Let's take a look at the first sentence. My mother do the dishes as my father watch the television. So in this case, well, we have to be familiar with the rules for simple present third person singular when you add s or es. Okay, so my mother does the dishes as my father watches the television. Why? Because my mother is she and my father he. Okay, so remember that he, she, it is our third person singular. Error number 5. I am agree instead of I agree. Again, very common mistake. Why? Because in Spanish we say estoy de acuerdo, right? So people get confused and they say, "Oh, I am agreeing." No. I agree in English. Action or state? Well, we could say that it is an action because agree is already a verb, so you cannot be a verb, at least in infinitive. You can say I am agree, but I agree. Okay, you agree with someone or something, or you agree to do something. For example, yes, I agree with you. We should buy this car. Or I agree with the new law, for example. So there you're agreeing with something. Or my father agreed to lend me some money. He agreed to do something. Error number 6, say versus tell. So the error is when we use say where we should use tell, or vice versa. We use tell when we should use say. So take a look at this. Take a look at the rules. You say something to someone, or you say something, but you tell someone something. Okay. Here are some examples. He said to me that we should break up. Okay. So I'm saying something to someone. He said that we should break up. He said something. He told me that we should break up. You tell someone something. Okay, last but not least, anything as a negative. If you want to use anything as a negative, you need a negative auxiliary such as in the following. I don't have anything to do, or for example with anybody, I don't know anybody here. So if you don't use don't, it doesn't mean the same, because anything and anybody are not negatives in themselves. You need don't or haven't, any auxiliary, any negative auxiliary. If you don't want to use a negative auxiliary, you could use this version. Nothing, this is the negative, and nobody. I have nothing to do, I know nobody here. So this means the same as this. Okay guys, I hope you like the video. Leave a comment, subscribe, and share. Bye bye.